how your brain picks your crush by in search of self. So that's quite interesting. I'm sure you've had a crush before, haven't we all? Such a nice feeling, except not really, because when they don't like you back, it's hell on earth, right, guys? But regardless of all of that, I'm curious, and I'm sure you are too. How does it actually work? More the science behind it, because obviously you've had a crush, but you're not really sure how did it come to be. How do I really like this person on a science level? So let's see, check it out, man. Enough of the yap, let's get straight to the action.
Have you ever wondered why you can't stop thinking about that one person?
I guess.
It feels magical, right? But here's the kicker. It's not magic at all.
Really?
Your brain is running a secret algorithm to decide who you fall for. And trust me, it's weirder and more fascinating than you think.
Okay, explain.
Alright, let's get one thing straight. Attraction begins and ends in your brain. Scientists say three main systems are at play: lust, attraction, and attachment. It's like your brain is hosting its own reality dating show. Lust kicks in first, driven by hormones like testosterone and estrogen. It's your brain whispering, "Go find someone." Then comes attraction. The butterflies, the obsession, the daydreaming. This is where dopamine floods your brain, making you feel euphoric, like you're on a high. Finally, there's attachment, the glue that bonds long-term relationships, fueled by oxytocin and vasopressin.
That's interesting because attachment is quite important, because obviously the looks get you into the house, but then the personality keeps you inside of that said house. So it's quite important to get actually vibe with the personality, get attached, and just to look and be like, oh, that looks nice. But then if they're dead personality, they're not fun to be around, they're not a nice person, you're gonna want to leave, bro. So the chemistry of formula is the attraction plus the personality to make the beautiful sandwich that is the love, or something like that.
Here's the wild part. These systems can work together or completely independently. That's why you can feel lust for one person, attraction for another, and attachment to someone else entirely. So, what makes your brain choose that specific person? Is it their smile, their laugh, their confidence? Yes and no. Turns out there's a lot happening beneath the surface. Ever noticed you're drawn to people you see often? It's called the mere exposure effect. Your brain loves what it recognizes.
That's definitely interesting. I think that's definitely true. I think that's why a lot of people say, oh, be in friend groups. That's why a lot of people that are friends end up dating, because they get familiar, they get to know them. Then they start to be like, oh, okay, I actually vibe this person, I'm actually liking this person. And then they engage in the dating after being familiar for a while.
That's why childhood friends or co-workers can suddenly become crush material. It's not just them. It's your brain playing tricks on you. Research suggests we're attracted to traits that feel familiar or comforting, even if we don't realize it. For example, people sometimes pick partners who remind them of their parents.
Really?
Sounds weird, right?
Yeah, actually, I don't know what I'm saying really. I knew that already. But it's weird how that works. The psychology is really interesting. So if you had an abusive dad, abusive mom, you're more likely to go and to date an abusive partner. I don't make the rules. It's just the science. I've heard of that a lot. I've seen it. It's crazy. It's quite sad, and it's interesting. So if you're not fully aware of that, then you're gonna repeat those mistakes of your parents most likely. Because if you go out and date someone abusive, you're probably gonna repeat the cycle of parents. Because you've been in an abusive household, you're more likely to have those traits of those abusive parents, and you date someone who's abusive, so now you're both abusive, and that's going to go on to your kids, and the cycle continues. So you have to do the work to break that cycle. And the same is opposite, vice versa. You have loving parents, you're more likely to be a loving, better person. You go find someone who's more loving, and then happy days. So whatever you feel on the scale, make sure you do you internalize yourself, and you do the work to get over your trauma, because it's not fair to move that onto your kids or onto your partner.
But it's not about looks. It's about behaviors, mannerisms, or even emotional patterns we've experienced before. Your brain is hardwired to look for signs of health and good genes. Facial symmetry, clear skin, and body posture send silent signals of fitness. Psychologists call this evolutionary attraction. Basically, your brain is saying, this person might be a good partner for survival.
And that's why people tend to not be attracted or want to date like bigger people per se, because it's not even just like necessary attraction, but it's linked to the biology of these ancient days. Because the bigger people, they're not healthy, bro, and this indicates to you that if they're not healthy, they might not necessarily make the best partner. Not saying that you're big, not going to be a good partner, but it's just saying maybe there shows a lack of discipline, or they're going through something, or that they're going to die earlier. It's just something biologically interesting. A lot of the things that people find unattractive are actually things that are like unhealthy. Like people with bad skin, it shows that internally there's some stuff going on. People with messed up teeth, something's going on. That's a lot of the attraction traits are linked to health. I don't know if you noticed that, but that's just something that's there.
Now let's talk chemistry. When you're crushing hard, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals that mess with your emotions. Dopamine is the big one. It's the same chemical released when you eat your favorite food, win a game, or achieve a goal. It makes you feel rewarded when you think about your crush. That's why you can't stop replaying moments with them. Then there's norepinephrine, which keeps you on edge. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and suddenly you feel like you're starring in your own rom-com. Lastly, serotonin levels actually drop. This explains the obsessive thoughts. Your brain is literally prioritizing thoughts of your crush over everything else. It's no wonder falling for someone can feel like an addiction, because in a way, it is. But here's where science hits a wall. Attraction isn't just biology, it's also deeply personal and unpredictable. Psychologists call it the X factor. Sometimes you just click with someone, and even scientists struggle to explain why. Take the famous case of Marilyn Monroe.
That's interesting, yeah. Sometimes you can't even fully explain it. I've had the experience of someone where, even though like necessarily, it's not even, it doesn't even have to be in a romantic. Sometimes with friendship as well, you can just meet someone and you just click instantly. You're instantly kind of close, instantly hanging out all the time. And it's interesting how that works. There's not necessarily a reason for it. Maybe your personalities just mesh well or something else, I just found that interesting. Some people just kind of click, and there's not necessarily a scientific, nerdy, deep reason why. It's just how it goes. Some mysteries of the world that cannot always be explained.
Arthur Miller. Marilyn, Hollywood's ultimate bombshell, and Arthur, a reserved playwright, seemed like opposites. Yet, they fell deeply in love. Why? Maybe Marilyn admired his intellect, while Arthur was captivated by her depth beneath the glamour. This X factor shows that beyond the chemicals and algorithms, your unique experiences, values, and emotions shape who you're drawn to.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's also true. It's not always about looks, because there's been people that they'll look at someone initially and be like, not really attractive, not really my type. But as they get to know them, as they speak, as they get closer, then now they start to develop those romantic feelings. And then weirdly enough, magically, it's almost like they start to look more attractive just from getting to know their personality more. It's interesting how that works.
Attraction isn't all about appearances. While looks might catch your attention, it's often personality traits like kindness, humor, and confidence that seal the deal. In fact, studies show that when people spend more time with someone, their attraction to that person can grow, even if they didn't find them attractive at first.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I just said, bro, hey man, I'd be cooking sometimes, bro, sometimes.
It's called the slow burn effect, and it proves that emotional connections can rewire your brain's perception of someone. So, next time you find yourself daydreaming about your crush, remember, your brain is behind the curtain, pulling the strings. It's a mix of biology, psychology, and that mysterious X factor that makes love so exciting and so complicated. But here's the real takeaway. Attraction might start in your brain, but the relationships you build are up to you. What matters most isn't just who your brain picks, but how you connect, grow, and understand each other over time.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of facts in this video. Hopefully you learned something. But it's definitely interesting how that works. And even though, yeah, it can be explained to some extent, I guess we'll never fully truly know. But isn't that the beauty of it? You know, at least if you're more aware of yourself, you know what you're looking for in a partner, you move correct, look for the positive traits, avoid the bad ones, you'll probably be all right, right? Anyway, let's grab another good stuff. See you later.